Moderna reporting a big beat for the quarter and raising its full-year forecast for its COVID vaccine now to $19 billion. CEO Stéphane Bancel joins us this morning. Stéphane, thanks for being with us on a very big morning for the world. Moderna also making news this morning with your earnings report. Tell us about how the pandemic is shaping up in your eyes, looking through the rest of the year and what it means for boosters later in the year.
Yes, good morning, Megan. Thank you for having me. So, as we've said before, we believe there's a high probability that we're moving into endemic setting. We should still be cautious because, as we've seen with Delta, which came after Alpha and was more virulent, it is always possible to get a more virulent variant. Of course, nobody's hoping for it. So we think we're most probably moving into an endemic setting where I think people are going to need boosting in the fall, especially people that are at risk, people above 50, comorbidity, job at risk. And also people who don't want to be sick. In the last 20 years, I got flu shot every year. Not that I was worried of dying or getting hospitalized. I just didn't want to get sick. So this is why, as you said, we've been able to increase our 2022 signed orders, now $19 billion. It's higher than what we saw last year, $17.7 billion last year. We also have $3 billion of options that are probabilized as a portfolio. So actually the actual number is higher, but we believe 3 billion is a reasonable number of what could happen. So those are not finally signed, they're options. And then there's still a lot of discussions ongoing. Some countries still don't have orders for the fall. That includes, by the way, the US. There's currently no order for the US in those numbers. And so we are working toward this endemic setting. And as you know, we are working actively to develop additional vaccine for respiratory disease like RSV, which is now since Tuesday this week in phase 3. The flu, we're going to get the phase 2 data soon. As soon as we have a dose, we're moving into phase 3. And we're starting the COVID plus flu. And we're investing in manufacturing to use the Thermo Fisher agreement. Last week, the Rovi agreement for manufacturing. We are increasing subsidiaries. We had 11 last year. We're going to have 21 this year. And as you see, also, we are starting to try to build a service business or subscription business with governments. We've already done 10-year agreements with Canada and Australia that are in final negotiation now that have been announced. And we're discussing with many more countries to do that, to build an mRNA plant from Moderna, built and operated and funded by Moderna, but with basically a 10-year respiratory vaccine agreement for supply where we can keep adding more and more respiratory virus into our annual booster to protect as many people as we can from hospitalization.
One group, of course, that's still waiting here in the U.S. for a vaccine is kids under 5. A setback for Pfizer. Now we're waiting a little longer for that. Moderna had said you expect data for kids ages 2 to 5 for your vaccine perhaps in March. Are you still expecting that timeline? And do you expect perhaps those data could lead to a clearance from the FDA relatively quickly?
So we're still expecting the data in March for the 6 months to 5 years of age. We have now, in most countries in the world, teens approved, and now we started to have, as last week, 6 to 11 years old approved as well. So when we have data, we'll, of course, communicate them, as we've always done, quickly. And we'll, of course, submit them to the FDA for the FDA to determine if they want or not to authorize the vaccine.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.